Let's go to Keewaydin Island. I've been here a couple of times before, but this will be my first time featuring a trip out here with you. Heading out with Captain Tyler with Everwater Charters and Tours. Keewaydin is a barrier island located between Naples and Marco Island on Florida's southwest coast. An 8-mile beautiful stretch of white sandy beaches that can only be accessed by boat. The south tip of this island can be a mecca for shells, especially during a negative low tide like today. I found lots of pretty bay scallops, fighting conchs, banded tulips, a gaudy nautica, a stunning true tulip, apple murexes, and alphabet cones. Other shell friends scored some great finds too, like this heart-shaped Seaglass, a huge horse conch, and even a Junonia cob.
Welcome to Florida Beach Walks. I'm Roxanne. Let's go shelling on Keewaydin Island with Everwater Charters and Tours.
I'm one happy camper on a boat. Well, wait a minute. No, happy sheller on a boat. Happy sheller. Oh, I love coming out with Everwater and definitely love coming out to Keewaydin. I felt like I've been here a million times because Chalet and Richard, they always share their camping adventures and everything with me. So I feel like I've been out here way more than I actually have. Gorgeous southern tip, and all this area out here is soon going to be basically almost all exposed because the tide is dropping. We took the river route here. Taking the Gulf side can't always be accessed due to how shallow and expansive the sandbar is, especially at low tide. There was a pontoon boat with a family that did unfortunately get beached on the Gulf side here this afternoon. Even with the pretty fast moving current here, the water is pretty clear, and I have my scope with me. I love this thing, and it is it's dominantly how I found the shells this afternoon. But before, let's see what we can find close by the water. All right, an Atlantic giant cockle, and this one, it was pretty giant. It was probably on the max side. Here's a banded tulip, lighter color in that one. That's pretty. Let's see, we got like that Whelk. Let's see, pick a couple what are those? Augers and a seraph. Augers and a seraph. And another auger. Let's see what's under here. Lots of shells get clustered up here. Yay! And a worm snail. Go ahead and collect that one. Another auger. All right, I'll hold on to that little lightning whelk. That's a cute one. I love the sound of that water. I know it's a little bit windy, but it almost sounds like a running stream rather than being at the ocean. All right, here is a fighting conch. A couple of them. Hold on to those. And an apple murex. Pretty light color in these. They have variations light and dark. And here is a lettered olive. Nice dark one. And a gaudy nautica. Colorful moon snail. These are so beautiful. Not too much variation in their patterns, but this is nice. Still has the gloss on it. All right, so gonna head out in the water with my scope. You can just see so nice. And there are people that use pitchers, like little water pitchers. You can use those too to look. And I saw a live lightning whelk. I think these are so cool, especially finding the live shells. Not just finding the shells to collect, but this is so neat. This little guy is scuttling right along. Here's its siphon up the front. Its head is up under the middle, and the foot is what he uses to scuttle along. Okay, I'm assuming it's a he because it's pretty small. If this is a fully matured one, maybe it's got a little bit growing to do, but the female ones are significantly larger than their male counterparts. The males are much, much smaller than the females because they need that special gland on their foot to produce all the egg casings. All right, there's a lot of shells like clustered up by roots or just in certain little spots. And here is another apple murex. Beautiful. I love acid cleaning these. Those are fun. Here is a joined spiny jewel box, but I didn't hold on to this one because that mud was like hard, like a rock. Here's a beautiful base scallop and a lace murex. The water at this point was about like 2 feet, like 1 to 2 feet deep where I was looking, and here is an example of the current. It was just whooping whooping right along. And a sand dollar. Here's a keyhole sand dollar. I didn't hold on to this one because my delicates container was by my backpack and I wasn't trekking back. I was happy to find arrowhead sand dollars on the East Coast a few videos back at Blowing Rocks. So that was really special to find those. Here is a banded tulip at the top and a lightning whelk in the middle and a calico clam there at the bottom. And I put my foot over spots that I saw before the hand. Yep, an alphabet cone. I was like, oh, I see spots. But the waves are coming. So I was like, before I could squat down, I just put my foot over it. Beautifully dark alphabet cone. Love that one. And not the fighting conch. There's another one. All right, it's not as pretty and fabulous, but hey, it is a alphabet cone, and I'm very happy to find those. Fun shell to find. Here's a couple of southern quahogs, if I can keep them in my hands. It is a balancing act between the shell and the camera and the scope. I don't usually collect these, but they were so dark and pretty, and this bigger one cleaned up really pretty. I'll show you at the end. Here is a gorgeous buttery gold fighting conch, Florida fighting conch. And another really pretty bay scallop. And these also are super duper fun to acid clean. They just come out so pretty. And here's another banded tulip. Nice banded tulips today. I did find a few of these older shells. I didn't take them. They were a lot pitted and they had a lot of barnacles and some were alive, so I just left this right here. And this was the dun 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 dun. I was so shocked. I saw this with the scope and I'm like, no way. And then I started to record myself picking it up. I was completely stunned to pull this out. It's gorgeous. A gorgeous red tip, like it started out red and just turned to chocolate. Just gorgeous. Stunning shell. The shell of the trip. Here is a shark eye. Really pretty swirl on this one. Now, I think I'm seeing kind of blue, maybe. So we'll call it what they call the Paul Newman's, the ones with the blue eye. And here is a lightning whelk egg casing. Now, these sure do get around. They're like almost stuck on everything. And I'll show you on the way back, even way up in an osprey nest, it was decorated with these lightning whelks egg casings. Here's a very beautiful fighting conch and a pretty design on the olive. Nice little true tulip, a banded tulip, and a paper fig. There's that pontoon boat that got stuck out there on the sandbar. Captain Tyler went over and he did try to help them pull the boat out when the water was a little bit higher, but it was pretty stuck. Oh, Tyler's great. Hopefully they were able to move out on the next high tide. And here is a stunning rough scallop. Check out the texture on this one. Gorgeous. An amazing color. the shapes. Oh, that's beautiful.
See, my husband said he couldn't see the heart.
Oh, he couldn't see the heart?
No.
Oh my word, that's so obvious. All right, we're gonna have to talk to that husband of yours. Oh no, he couldn't see the heart. All right, prime example that women and men have completely different brains. Oh my goodness. All right, here is a hinged sunray Venus clam. Very pretty on that one. The tide is dropping pretty fast now, about a foot of water. Let's continue to look through our scope. And a beautiful, that's so nice, bay scallop. And this one was pretty big, the biggest one that I found. We have another banded tulip. Pretty coloring on this one as well. These max out about at 4 inches, and true tulips actually eat these banded tulips. Look at your screen on the bottom left there, and you're going to see an osprey just swoop down and get a fish. There he goes. It's like a nature show out here. These ospreys are amazing. So fun to watch on Keewaydin Island. I've seen one carry in a fish and the other osprey carry out the fish in the same nest. Oh my goodness. Here is another big shell, but won't keep that one either. That was a horse conch. Look at the current. Just rolls it right on out of there. All right, I found this bottle. Now this is the mystery bottle. I was like, ooh, I can keep it and put some serifs and augurs in it. I have no idea what happened to it. I don't know if I left it there. I don't know. It wasn't in the car. It was in my bag. It's a mystery. Maybe it'll show up. Maybe it'll show up like my digger did. I lost that one and found that one too. Here is a lightning whelk. It's got a little smooch on it, but I'll hold on to it. That's pretty good. We'll leave that one. we'll leave the faded one. Ooh, and that's a really nice coloring on that fighting conch. Got some great knobs on that. And a bay scallop. All right.
Okay.
Wow, cool. Can I hold it?
Yeah.
I promise I won't drop it. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you. That is the closest I've come to it. Because that's
Hey,
Junonia,
that puts you in the
right?
J Club. Congratulations, Katie. She was one of these shellers I met on my shared shelling tour with Everwater Charters and Tours. This tour can be yours also, along with other island adventures they offer with both shared and private tours. Just head on over to everwatercharters.com to book your experience, and you can use code Florida Beach Walks to save a little bit on your booking. Here is another really nice dark fighting conch, Florida fighting conch. Gorgeous. All right, let's see what we got down here. Another banded tulip and another one. All right, we got 2 banded tulips. I do not tire of picking these up because whenever I find them on the East Coast, they're all beat up and broken pretty much. So even though they're pretty common on the West Coast, I'm always excited to pick them up. Just looking around an old tree stump here, and I found a really nice size lightning whelk tucked up underneath the roots. Beautiful. Okay, it has a little bit of a nick on the back there, but this cleaned up really well. Okay, and another banded tulip. And this one was a female lightning whelk with that bigger size. This scope kept floating away from me, especially with the faster current. And another bay scallop. This was, oh, look at the hinge wings, just so sharp and pretty. Here is a hinged calico clam. And hey, I picked up a calico scallop there too. So we got a calico clam and a calico scallop. The other shell to the bottom of my hand there was a juvenile Florida fighting conch. Pretty much finished shelling in the water and just was looking at all these little tinies. Oh, it'd be so nice to spend a day just looking through here. But I did pick up this spiny jewel box and just admired the pink coloring on it. So the tide will continue to drop a little bit more, and we were finished with our shelling tour, and I had a fabulous time.
You got the Junonia?
Yeah, the Junonia piece and the horse. That's crazy you dug that up. That's awesome.
I can't believe it.
That's pretty.
I am just absolutely stunned.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Katie was so sweet, so nice to talk to on the way there and the way back from our tour. Congratulations with all that she found, and I hope she had a very safe, fun flight back home up north. There is the osprey nest I was telling you about. That was decorated with the lightning whelk casings. Here are all of the beautiful shells that I found on the southern tip of Keewaydin Island with Everwater Charters and Tours, out this time with Captain Tyler. Yep, the shell of the day. Stunning, stunning tulip. This is one of the best tulips that I have now. Look at the tip on that. Just stunning. It's just perfect. Perfect true tulip. Super happy to have found this one. Beautiful calico clams and the moon snails there were really pretty. A couple of alphabet cones, yay! And some scallops and some worms. Got a few lettered olives, 3 of them there. Apple murex is cleaned up really nice. 3 lightning whelks, little juveniles. Ooh, and some purple on the end of that juvenile. Finding conch was pretty. Here are those southern quahogs. This larger one cleaned up really nice. The recessed area on the back side of these is called the escutcheon. This one has such a beautiful dark color. I just dipped it in some acid magic and it cleaned up just awesome. Beautiful. Lightning whelk cleaned up really fabulous too. Sunray Venus clam there, and there's the larger of that bay scallop that cleaned up really nice too. The the Florida fighting conchs in the back. Got some pretty tulips. Oh, just this whole trip was just so nice. It's always nice to shell an island, only accessible by boat. Thank you, Everwater Charters and Tours, again for another fabulous shelling trip. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing each comment. I love responding to. Thank you for your interaction. And until next time, I leave you with this.